Hi everyone, hope everyone's having a good week so far. So for this week's discussion, we have question 1, give examples where you have either experienced or observed the distinction between using language to build rapport and using language to report information. So a time that I can recall was I was third wheeling on a date between my friend and this girl. And on the date, he was mainly talking about like politics and sports, like how his favorite hockey team was doing, whereas this girl was trying to learn about him personally. And they didn't hit it off. They never talked again. But afterwards, my friend stated that he thought that she was boring and didn't have a personality. I ended up telling him that he was talking to her like she was me. And he wasn't making any effort to talk to her how she wanted to be talked to. And instead, she was just stuck listening to him rant about the Buffalo Sabres losing streak. This experience applies to Tannen's theory because they mention male-female conversations are considered intercultural communications. They even go as far as giving them a term, which is genderlex. The point is that we must meet the opposing gender in the middle by understanding how they communicate differently so that we can build connection. So for question 2, how do cultural behavior influence behavior in specific contexts? Sorry, look at my notes. So this influences behavior by allowing participants to have a guideline or a script for interactions. This chapter brings up adjacency pairs, such as greetings are met with a greeting, or compliment is met with a response. So an example is like if someone were to say, "How are you?" I would respond with, "I'm fine, how about you?" But people outside of the culture who don't understand the cultural schemes may respond with like, "Why do you ask?" Like there may be some misunderstanding there, which could create discomfort since it's meant more as a greeting more than genuine curiosity of how the person is doing. There have been many times where I run into this scenario. Back when I used to work at Starbucks, I would have to talk to someone who had very poor English. And I would like initially talk very fast and with shortcuts in my speech, which would be met with a blank stare and sort of like a panicked reaction. And after realizing this, how I would deal with it was I would simplify my language, making it more proper and easier for them to translate. So yeah. And for question 3, what ways can the knowledge of high context and low context communication impact intercultural interactions and global communication? Have you ever experienced this situation? Yeah. So a personal example is I work at a rehab center with several different houses, each containing a different group of patients. And sometimes I'll hear guys speaking very aggressively to each other in a way that I would consider hostile in my own eyes. However, like when I confronted them about this, saying like, you guys need to speak a lot nicer, they were kind of defensive, and I was met with, you don't understand, like this is just how we talk to each other, like there's no malicious intent behind it. So this is definitely an example of a high context scenario because I was struggling with not having the context. I didn't know how they talk to each other, so I perceived it as hostile even though it was actually meant as like endearing. So I think how we can go about this is being quick to listen and slow to speak. That would just be a very good strategy when communicating globally or interculturally, and just being vigilant of body language as well, because that can be a very big tell. So thank you guys for listening, and I hope you guys have a good week.